Peace, peace, peace. This is Chocolate Amun Ra in the morning message. This morning message is special. This morning message is special. And when I say special, meaning the fact that we're going to talk about a few things this morning message. So let's pay all due respects. This is a surprise I have for y'all. Not only just a surprise, it's really a little wake up. Because still, a lot of our brothers and sisters have not got it. But you know what I found out? I'll tell you after we give up total respect to the Creator. The morning rises. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Amun. The sun rises. Today's message is based on a few things. A few things I want to say is this. I know we keep saying this here, and I'm including myself. Our people's not getting it. Our people's not waking up because we want them to wake up fast. We want them to have this awakening. Well, guess what? It took us a little while. It took me a while. And even though my spirit was uncomfortable with the foul things I've seen over the years as a child, until now as a man, as 50 years old. But I was still asleep. My flesh was asleep. Even though my deity, the true being of myself, was asleep, but it was still awoken. Saying, certain events happen in my life allows me to know that something wasn't right. But what happens is, if you taught tolerance and you taught ignorance, not by meaning that it was taught deliberately, but not knowing that you're taught, not knowing. Remember this. Listen to the meaning I'm saying to you. It's simple. Not knowing. And when you're not knowing of your history, you're not knowing who you are, you're not knowing the historical history of what our people, our descendants, went through. Okay? Melanin people around the world, please pay attention. This is a special morning. You have to understand, after you slowly start put the puzzle together, and let me tell you something, it's an endless puzzle. Once you thought you figured out one thing, is another thing that pops up. So this puzzle just keeps adding on. This, the journey I have slowly, but surely, have started to realize. You can read all the books in the world and still be on one parallel. Literally, you can still be on one parallel and not knowing C, D, E, F, G. For instance, when I say that, that means in different categories. So, in different categories, it's just as simple as A, B, and C. Now, the reason why I say that is this. Many of you have watched Roots and you felt uncomfortable. And I'm talking about Alex Haley. Alex Haley. But see, Alex Haley was telling a story of himself, of trying to find his roots. You see, understand that was just one piece of the puzzle. Then after that, a lot of people started, in the melanin race, started trying to look for their roots. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not. Now, when Alex Haley made Roots and it came out on TV, they had to be delicate when they put it out because they couldn't show you the real story behind slavery. They only had to give you how white people that was in power was deliberately crucifying our people. They couldn't really show you how white people also was in love with black people, melanated people. You'll hear me going black, using the word color code text black, because I know a lot of people, when I say melanin, they don't really know that. So you will hear me saying black from time to time. So back to what I was saying. I'm using Alex Haley for example. So it can be broken down slowly. The morning message might be in a couple of parts. And if it does, please watch it. Now, so many of you have watched Roots. So many of you have. But you became tolerant of ignorance. Because even though you watched it, even though you was pissed off, angry, you said, I want to try to get along to go along. You have to understand something. The oppressor doesn't care if you get along to get along. It doesn't work like that. You have to do what you need to do. Take what's yours. We're not in ancient times anymore, no more. We already know that, so brothers and sisters, pay attention. All is getting back to where we used to be. That life is done. That life is done. It don't work like that. Because it's not about the melanated people who ruled the world. Chains of events over thousands of years have took place. And if it was meant for melanated people to rule the world to this day, we'd be doing that. That's what a lot of you will never understand that. That's part of the puzzle. Chain of events happened. You understand? First of all, you're gonna have to accept melanated people put themselves in slavery first. You had 13 nations in Kush, which you'll call Africa. 13 nations, right? In those 13 nations, they put their own people on the chopping block as slaves and cargo for resources so they can have power. So they can be enriched. Helping themselves, selfish acts, kings and queens. Okay, well, some of us sit up there, yeah, you know, the slavery was totally different, blah, 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 blah. We push that to the side. Okay? Understand this. Then you got the wars between the Nubians and the Kickites. And you got to remember this here. It's wars of the Israelites. Wars with different nations. Different nations. You understand? They wasn't called black. They didn't care to be called black because the word black was just a color. As time passed by, people began to call people out of their name. Coming in modern times, let's sit back and now understand why we choose to be ignorant.
Fine.
You fooling yourself. So, the reason why I'm using this word fear, right? The word fear. The word fear. I want some of y'all to really pay attention when I'm going to give you the definition of fear. Fear. And I know a lot of y'all, like, I know their definition, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Fear. F-E-A-R. An unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, or a threat. I will say it again. Fear, F-E-A-R, an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, or a threat. Fear is in so many of you. You know your heritage. You know your culture. You choose not to participate in knowing who you are. And if you do it, you want to do it in a closed circuit. In your mind, you tell yourself, well, I participate by going to a lot of these events, but you won't put your garment on. Some of you won't wear your garments. Some of you won't even wear African jewelry. You won't. Like if you're hiding something. And basically, you are walking. You're walking on, in the middle of, the word I'm looking for is you're walking on a, hold on for a minute. I hate when I lose my train of thought. Sorry for that small interruption, but basically, you're walking on a thin line. I will go to the scripture, using the New World Translation of Holy Scriptures. This will help identify what I'm basically saying. I'm going to go to Revelation chapter 3, verses 16. And the scripture states, 16, so because you lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I'm going to vomit you out my mouth. You're walking on a fine line. Basically, that's what you're doing. You're walking on a fine line. So many of you, you know what you're doing. You know your heritage, but you choose to continue participating in the world system of things. I'm going to read another scripture for you so you get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. This scripture here is 1 John chapter 2, 15 through 17. This scripture is going to give you another better definition of exactly what I'm talking about. How so many of our people is. And it's not a bad thing that you're like that. It's that no one taught you. And the ones who do know, your fear has you like this. But let me read the scripture so you get a better definition. We'll be going through 1 John, if you got a Bible, it'll be even better. 1 John chapter 2, 15 through 17. I'll wait a few seconds and maybe you might catch up. Caught it? You got it? Okay. Let's read starting verse 15. Do not be loving either the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. 16. Because everything in the world, the desire of the flesh and the desire of the eyes and the showy display of one means of life does not originate with the Father, but originate with the world. 17th scripture. Furthermore, the world is passing away, and so is desire. But he that does the will of God remains forever. Understand the concept. So many of you, your fear has you worshiping the way the world is, the materialistic things. So many of you are like this. You don't even want to wear the garments. Hold on. So many of you are afraid to wear African garments when African people were the first original people. The original people with the clothing line. You think they all came out of the bush and was wearing nothing? Everybody wasn't like that. We were the first to wear jewelry. The jewelry represented the status quo. Some of y'all take the jewelry out of content. Literally. There's nothing wrong wearing your cross. Because I understand the cross means. The cross doesn't mean that Jesus Christ had passed, who sacrificed himself on that. That was an added on bonus. The cross literally is a peace sign. How are you going to take a peace symbol and use it as a symbol of destruction of a man? All they did was nail this man on a stake, because that's what the Romans used to do. I had no significance of that. This came later on. Yoshua. But then that story can be challenged. Because if you have a story between two brothers of Haru in the ancient world, the story, then the Greeks took it with Horus. Then you got the story of Jesus, which the Romans took the Greek story, Horus. If you go to Asher Quasia, he clearly tells you this. I've shown you plenty of these documents that show you how they took these stories, but not to throw you off. Fear have got y'all locked in. This is the only reason why you do what you do. What you afraid of? Why are you afraid? Oh, I'm going to continue on, wearing my jean outfit, my Prada outfit, continue wearing my Jordans and all that stuff. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with buying none of these things. There's nothing really wrong. But when you deny yourself and you deny the love of your own people's creation, you just as bad. When you deny the byproducts from your own melanin race, you deny this. You know who you are. This is part 1. This is part 1 from the morning message. Peace.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tariq Nasheed. I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii. We are putting together a project called